Hello, and welcome to our Elite Escapes. I'm Jim Sadlier, and we're excited to have Debra Lee from the Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau here with us today. Take it away, Dan and Melody.
Thank you so much for that great introduction, Dad, and welcome back to our Elite Escapes. I'm your host, Dan Sadlier with Melody Sadlier, and today we have on Debra Lee from the Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we are so excited to have her on. But first, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, like this video, share it with your friends, anyone who loves travel, and we truly appreciate your support. And also, make sure to stay to the end of this episode so you could find your Miami. All right. Debra, thank you again for being with us today. We know that Miami is the cruising capital of the world. Could you give us some updates on what's going on in the cruising world of Miami?
Hi, Dan. Hi, Melody. It's a pleasure being with you both today. Yes, talk about something so positive and so wonderful in the cruise industry. We're back, and cruising is definitely back with a vengeance. Lots of significant things happening. We welcomed Icon of the Seas back in January, which is, the largest cruise ship at sea. And she's just been, sailing through Government Cut, and to much delight. I mean, people just literally gather along Government Cut just to watch her as she goes by, because it is something, a sight to behold. But in addition to that, we have new terminals. So for the most part, Port Miami has undergone significant infrastructure improvements over the last couple of years. But one of the ones we're most excited about is what we currently have at MSC. So MSC Cruise Lines has a new terminal under construction that, when it is completed, it will not only be the largest cruise ship terminal in North America, but it's reportedly going to be the largest cruise ship terminal in the world. Wow. So we are super excited, as the cruise capital of the world, to have this amazing facility available for clients to experience when they cruise on MSC. It's said that when the terminal is completed, they'll be able to berth 3 ships simultaneously, which equates to about 30,000 people, which is just incredible when you think about it.
That is incredible. I mean, look at this wrong way, cruise ship behind me. And, it's fun on Instagram. I've seen some cool videos of the ports in Miami, of all the cruise ships coming in and leaving and docking. I mean, that's a lot of people. So good for them, and great to see how much Miami has been growing even more, even if it's already the cruise capital of the world, how it just keeps growing bigger and bigger. So that's great news. And to keep going forward with some more good news, we know that Miami is very excited about their second annual Rainbow Spring, geared to the LGBTQ plus community. Could you let our LGBTQ plus viewers know why they are welcomed and should be planning to visit Miami this spring and beyond?
Absolutely. So as we say, Miami Beach will shine even brighter than usual during Rainbow Spring. And it is really an initiative to welcome our LGBTQ plus visitors to an amazing destination. We are a very diverse and welcoming destination. And so we are truly, especially louder and prouder this spring from March through June. So we have a number of different activities, including the Winter Party Festival in March, that kind of kicks things off. And then we have Miami Beach Pride in April. And we also have the Outshine Film Festival in late April. In mid-May, we have the Sweet Heat Miami, which is a spotlight on women with pool parties and some exciting nightlife activities. So just truly a number of different types of programming that comprises Rainbow Spring. And as you mentioned, Dan, it's the second year of this programming, and we couldn't be happier with the progress that's been made with this particular programming. And we invite all of our LGBTQ plus travelers to come and visit us. Of course, it's certainly during Rainbow Spring, but even beyond that, because of course we certainly welcome them, and we look forward to having them in the destination.
Great. Well, I'm really excited because I hear the new Andaz is coming to Miami. Can you give us an update on this luxury hotel property?
Absolutely, Melody. We are super excited as well. This will be our first Andaz in destination. And actually, it may be a property that folks might be familiar with. It is the former Confidant Hotel on Miami Beach that's transitioning to an Andaz. Um, they've been working on this for quite some time, but because this is one of our largest and oldest Art Deco historical preserved buildings, it's been under very secure, you know, under they've been keeping a watchful eye as the progress has gone on because we do have in Miami Beach an Art Deco preservation board. You see, Miami Beach is actually the largest collection of Art Deco architecture in the world. And so in an effort to preserve this, we have a preservation board that oversees everything as it relates to architecture and construction on Miami Beach of any building that falls within that, under that classification. So we've had a watchful eye on it. So it's taken a while. Actually, the hotel will be closing this weekend and then reopening as an Andaz as a progression takes place. And we expect that to be completed in spring of 2025. But in addition to that, the Andaz is joining some really amazing brands that are coming to destination. So we not only will have an Andaz, but we'll also have a Rosewood. The former Raleigh Hotel will be transitioning to a Rosewood. We have the first Bulgari in the United States opening in Miami Beach as well. That will probably be about 2026. And we also have an Amman property, which will be constructed right beside the fabulous and famous Faena Hotel. So a number of luxury and ultra luxury brands coming into the destination, specifically on Miami Beach as well, and that we're very, very excited about, you know, just in time to welcome some of the big sporting activities that we have coming up.
That is awesome. So exciting. I mean, those are really great brands, you know, and that's so these next few years are going to be huge in Miami. Very excited to hear that.
Absolutely. Yes, yes.
Well, perfect. I think this is a great time. We're going to take just a quick 20-second break and send it over to Jim.
Looking for a bespoke luxury vacation? Elite Travel Events can help you every step of the way. From luxury transportation to hotels to private excursions. We can help bring your dream vacation anywhere in the world into reality. Contact us today.
Okay, and we are back. So Deborah, as you mentioned, just very, very tiny at the last in the last question, that there is some for the sports fans out there. Could you let them know what is coming back and what is coming to Miami in these next couple of years?
Absolutely, Dan. Actually, currently in progress, we have the Miami Open, which is our tennis tournament. Been around for many, many years up at the Hard Rock Stadium. And we also have the first initiative of the APP Miami Pickleball Open, which is taking place at our Miami Beach Convention Center. You know, pickleball has become such a phenomenon. So we have an inaugural of the APP Miami Pickleball Tournament. And actually last weekend, for the first time, we hosted UFC. So we're definitely transitioning, not just, you know, the typical sports that you're familiar with, but those have been taking place. And then coming up in May 3rd through the 5th, we have the Formula One Miami Grand Prix. So in its third year of 10, because we do have a 10-year deal for Formula One. And that's always an exciting time. The Grand Prix, you know, certainly brings in those clients into the destination that may not have necessarily been paying attention or interested in coming, but having Formula One, you know, as part of our sporting event calendar has been just huge for us. And so we're very, very excited to welcome the Formula One back the first week in May 3rd through 5th. And this, of course, also takes place at Hard Rock Stadium.
Wow, you're going to be really busy.
And I think something's coming in 2026 too.
We have a little something happening in 2026. We are one of the U.S. host cities for the World Cup. So we will be hosting 7 matches, including the third place final for the World Cup. So again, very exciting times. If you are a sports fan, it's just something else, another reason for you to visit our destination and enjoy some of our world-class sports that's coming into market.
You know, that sounds great. But you know what? There's been a lot of talk about this Brightline train. Can you tell our viewers, know about what this travel option is?
Absolutely. Have either of you taken the Brightline?
No.
No,
Oh,
not yet, but I've
we've
heard
got
such
to,
fabulous things.
yes, it's amazing. We've got to get you on the Brightline when next you're in town. So Brightline, just to give you a little backstory, it's been actually operational since October of 2018
Wow.
when it used to operate from Miami to West Palm Beach. So it only went between Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. And then, of course, it was closed during the pandemic, returned in 2021. And now, in 2022, actually, they extended or added 2 new stations. So in 2022, Aventura was added, and Aventura is halfway in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And Boca Raton was also added, which is halfway between Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. And then the big news is last September, Brightline extended service north up into Central Florida and added Orlando.
Oh.
So today you could essentially, either fly into Orlando or fly into Miami and take the Brightline down either way. 32 trains a day. This
Wow.
Brightline. It is high-speed rail, so it takes a little bit over 3 hours because there are only 2 types of routes. There's one that is considered express, which stops at the main stations. So if it leaves Orlando, it will stop in Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale before it gets to Miami. That would be considered express. That one takes a little bit over 3 hours. And the other one takes a little bit longer in that it will stop at all of the stations from Orlando all the way down to Miami. So definitely a game changer, in a word. This is huge for us here in Florida, and particularly, the fact that this, as Brightline likes to say, they're connecting Central Florida to South Florida in a hospitality, in the weave of hospitality, not necessarily transportation. Yes, they're providing transportation, but they really consider themselves a hospitality company in that they're providing, a more elevated type of service by rail.
I love that. And you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say a game changer, for those people that want to go to Orlando and go to the theme parks and then, hey, do that for a couple of days and then make your way down to Miami.
That's right. Make your way to
know?
the beach. So it really makes so much sense in terms of having those clients that want to have, a multi-city type of vacation or experience in the state of Florida and be able to do it with pretty seamlessly.
Love it. So we actually have a couple questions from our audience who knew you were going to come on this week. So first question is from Janet from Illinois, who asks or says that she typically only travels to Miami when she boards a cruise ship, but she would love to experience the city. What do you suggest are the must-see attractions for a long weekend in Miami for a first-timer?
For a first-timer, well, as a first-timer, I say you've saved the best destination for last, right? I would recommend a couple of things, but, I would absolutely recommend seeing Miami from the water, right? We're completely surrounded by water. There's no better way to see the destination. We have one of the most beautiful skylines in the US. And so one thing I would highly recommend is there are a number of tours, whether they're high-speed boat tours or just little cruise tours that can certainly take you around throughout and seeing Miami from the water, which is a great way to see Miami. In addition to that, I would also recommend Wynwood. Wynwood is our street art district, and it's located about 3 miles from downtown Miami. And that's where you're going to have, see the Wynwood walls. You're going to experience the Museum of Graffiti, the only one of its kind in the world. And so just, a great way it's a walkable neighborhood, so you can get exercise while you're experiencing the art. And then another recommendation, of course, would be Miami Beach. As I mentioned, Miami Beach is home to the largest collection of Art Deco architecture in the world. So, you definitely want to see that and experience something that you can't experience in many other places. And then, of course, from a cultural standpoint, no visit to Miami would be complete without without visiting Little Havana.
I love a good
And
Cubano. So
there you go. And certainly, whether it's going to experience the cuisine or going to experience the nightlife, having Ball and Chain is a really fun place for you to go and get and listen to live music, and also get some salsa lessons while you're there.
Interesting, huh?
Love it.
You know what? I have a question from Chris from Michigan, and she wants to know if this is true. She said she heard there's transportation in certain areas of Miami that are free. She thinks nothing's free, so she wants to know if that's true.
That is absolutely true, Chris. We do have we have a couple free modes of transportation, to be honest. We have our trolleys, which look like San Francisco rail cars, except they're on wheels. They are air conditioned. That's scheduled service. So the trolleys go throughout our neighborhoods, whether it's Miami Beach or throughout Miami, and it even goes into the port of Miami. And it like I said, it's scheduled service, so it has certain spots throughout the area that you can stop at, and it's coming, and then you take it to wherever you need to get to. So that's one convenient way of getting around, free. Another one is our Metro Mover. So for those that are staying in the downtown Miami or Brickell, which is our financial district area, we have, for lack of a better word, a monorail system, and it's called the Metro Mover. It starts operating at about 6 a.m. in the morning. It runs till about midnight on most days. There are some days where it will run beyond that time if we're having any special events in town. And it basically has 6 different routes throughout downtown Miami and Brickell. So it connects those 2 neighborhoods together. And again, you just hop on and hop off wherever you need to and get around. And then, of course, the last method of free transportation would be Freebie. Freebie is this really great service. They provide electric vehicles. So in some cases, it's a elongated golf cart. In some neighborhoods, we have actually Teslas that provide this service, and they will pick you up from where you're located and take you within a 5-mile radius. All you have to do is tip the driver. So
Perfect.
Definitely ways of getting around Miami and, saving some money while you're at it.
That's perfect. I mean, I went to Miami last, I think it was June, and I'll be back this June again for a travel event. And I mean, what a fun city, from daytime to nighttime, there's always something to do. It's beautiful. The people were friendly, and the hotels are beautiful. It was so much fun. I got to go and experience so many different resorts, different hotels, and I loved it. So I just can't wait to go back. But Debra, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us today on our Elite Escapes. It was such a pleasure having you, and I hope all these people out there are ready to go experience Miami. If it's your first time or if it's your 100th time, it's always a place to go and have some fun and get out of the cold, or if you're up north, and get into that sunshine and warmth and the beautiful beaches. So thank you again, Debra. Make sure to come back next Friday, everyone. And we're going to send it over to Jim to close us out. And you'll get a sneak peek inside beautiful Miami. Have a great day.
Debra.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you come back next Friday to see Dan travel through the beautiful Hawaiian islands of Kauai and Maui. We'd like to thank our travel partners in the Maldives for this week's giveaway. Good luck, everyone. And the winner is Steve B. from Minnesota. Congratulations, Steve. We'll be in touch with you shortly. And now it's time to find your Miami.
If you think there's just one Miami, think again. You might discover her Miami, a fitness-scape full of kicking, swinging, and steaming. There's the Artventurous Miami that combines vibrant art and one-of-a-kind outdoor adventures. And get your appetite ready for a Miami that's deluxious, equal parts delicious and luxurious. There's a Miami perfect for you, waiting to be discovered. The only question is, what Miami will you choose?